please, God, can we please win this game against Auburn? All right, that's all I want for this week. I just want a good win against Auburn. Can you do that? Could you do that, please? I would appreciate that a lot. I would really enjoy that, God. If you could do that, I would really appreciate it. Oh, dear. I'm going to have to do this again, aren't I?
Nope. Yay! Nope. Nope. Yay! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Well, we're in October.
Season's going by fast.
Yes, it is.
I hate
Yes, it is.
I hate it.
All I'll say is, thank God we're going to be on a bye week next week.
I told you this SEC. Every week, big game.
Big game, yes, indeed, indeed. Anyway, this is yet another episode of Days of Us Sodas, where we talk about the never-ending soap opera. It's Oklahoma Sooners football. And we had a nice reminder of why it is a never-ending soap opera, because talk about an ugly win.
Oh, the ugliest. One of the ugliest I've ever seen.
Probably since, remember that game we played against Army in, what was it, 2018, I think?
do.
ugly game.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, oh man, we're gonna lose Red River.
Mm-hmm.
Then we lost Red River that year, and it was really frustrating. And I was sick,
Mm-hmm.
and we went there.
Is that when we went? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were sick.
Yeah.
Aunt Lisa was sick.
Yeah. Anyway, ugly win against Auburn of all teams. And how did we win? Sooner Magic. It's
right.
real.
That's right.
It's real, Dad.
That's right. Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
I've
That's all I gotta say.
Seen it my whole life.
I mean, it happened against Tennessee back in 2000. Now, remember, I think it was 2016.
I can go way back before that.
Well, I'm sure there's more instances, but what a game!
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a fantastic game. So
fantastic. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we were hugging afterwards. It was
that's true. That's true.
It was exhilarating, that's for sure.
I'm glad we won, to be honest with you.
That's a low-level SEC team, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta
not like
say,
we beat Alabama.
I gotta say, it's even the lower level teams. They're
tough.
They're gonna fight you. Like Vanderbilt had a fight with Missouri a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So it's all in. So.
A couple of nasty SEC wars last week as well, but we'll get into that. I thought we were going to lose this game, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I was sick, as you like to say.
I was not far behind you.
I was like, good Lord, this offense has learned nothing. Now defense is starting to slip up.
Right.
We're screwed.
Yeah.
I thought we were screwed.
They were marching up and down the field.
Also, Ryan was texting me. We were talking back. I avoided OU Twitter, so before you were like, "Oh, you're resorting to bad habits." I stayed away from OU Twitter.
You switched though.
I did. And I was about to I just was like, "Screw this. I'm going to my office."
That's right. You gave up quickly.
I'm done. It wasn't quickly. I sat through 2 very long quarters of underwhelming OU football, and I'm just sitting in here, and I'm just like preparing for what I'm going to say for this very episode. I was about to rip into Luttrell, which I'll probably still do, by the way. Start going, what the hell happened to the defense? Because defense is actually pretty good. And then Michael Hawkins just lobs a dime over to number 13. I can't think of the guy's name. Hester, thank you. And gets us right back into the game. Then we go for 2. I get why they did it, but I still thought it was kind of a dumb move because we still could have gotten the lead. We
needed to get within a field goal, but we missed it. Yeah.
So, that kind of sucked because, whatever. And then somehow we won because Michael Hawkins led a drive, and this offense finally started getting moving. And then the defense was like, oh yeah, we actually have good players on this football team, and just started tearing up the quarterback for Auburn.
Yeah, that's why we should have been playing the whole game on defense.
I felt kind of awful for the Auburn quarterback, though. My God, that dude played a game.
Oh, he was fantastic. Kept us all balanced the whole game.
He was a slippery little man.
And plus, he was throwing some great passes, and they've got some great receivers. Big, fast receivers. I mean, they've got a good team. Running backs real good.
In the end, somehow, even though all of our good receivers are hurt, the offense doesn't have an identity whatsoever.
Nope.
Defense was slipping up.
Yes.
Somehow. We won. Sooner Magic. It exists. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. So, thoughts on the game again? We started out fantastic, right?
Yeah, defense was like playing up.
3 and out right off the bat.
Yeah, and then
Hawkins gets the ball. Pow, shows his speed.
The hopium was alive in a lot of fans, I'm sure.
We're going to blow these guys out, right?
And then Auburn was like, no.
Not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast. Sorry, I was quoting a basketball player, not a football player, who sadly passed away this last week.
Mutombo?
Yeah. Anyway, then Auburn started kind of dominating for a bit, and we were just sitting there like...
Dominated the whole game, basically.
Yeah, and we were just like, what is this? And then, I looked at OU Twitter later, and it was about what do you expect? Oh, we're going to go 5-11. I don't think we're going to be that bad, hopefully. But then, again, somehow, we managed to pull it out.
Yeah, Sooner Magic.
Sooner Magic. Sorry, Auburn Tigers.
So
you're once again a victim of Sooner Magic.
That's right. They learned. They learned. We're not out of it. That defense, they kept us around. We were down 21-10. And it seemed like with our offense, it seemed like we were 50 points down, but we were hanging around.
Yeah.
And then once we threw the bomb and got the touchdown.
But sadly, Auburn is not one of those teams that can finish off an opponent.
That's what it seems.
Yeah.
That's what it seems. So
it happened the exact same way last year against Alabama, if I remember right. Or maybe it was a couple years ago. I don't remember.
So
they've choked a couple of games.
Let's talk about start of fourth quarter. We're not playing too good.
I was sick.
Everything's going wrong. You throw a tantrum and beat the couch up, and I had to settle you down a bit.
Yeah, you were like, don't break it, or this is the most angry I've seen you in a while. Yeah, I was kind of scared.
That's my couch. I'm going to have to pay for that. So
yeah.
And then,
I was kind of scared for a minute.
And right after that, you let me know that you've been not kicked out of Twitter, but off the OU page on Facebook.
Well,
let's talk about that a little bit.
I technically got muted, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, I was a bit coarse with some of the people on there, and posted a couple of posts.
Yeah.
Well, one of them was, what is this team doing, and we're collapsing. And another one was me saying, I told you so, because now I can sit here and say, I told you so. Though, again, Hawkins and our team somehow managed to pull it out. So we're going to be sniffing that hopium for the next couple weeks, and we have learned absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well,
so.
There's Sooner fans.
I hate to be the cynical fan, because you know what, Dad? I like to think of myself as a more level-headed fan.
Oh, is
you know,
that? Okay.
Believe it or not, and I'm often angry at the more cynical fans. But my God, we were playing so just rotten football. I was being the cynical football player, or cynical football fan for a minute.
Changed sides?
Or I don't know if I changed sides, but also a lot of it was I told you so, because it's not just the quarterback's fault. But I got to give it to Hawkins. He wasn't as careless with the ball as poor Jackson Arnold was.
Yeah, that's true.
And he did some real Superman type of football stuff.
He's a player.
Did another Elway move.
It's like Sam Bradford there against OSU. Just flinging his body up there.
Oh, man. I had a dream last night. We were losing to Vanderbilt. And Sam Bradford came in. And you were like, okay, I'm done. I'm turning this off. So I was
wow.
Yeah, that was weird.
That's when I would turn it on when Sam Bradford's coming in. So there's two types of OU fans. There's ones like what you're talking about, the cynical ones. We're losing. It's the end of the world. And then you got the snowflakes. When you criticize the obvious, they get all offended. Like, hey, they're just college kids. No, they're getting paid $1 million a year on some of these guys.
Yeah, that's true.
And we're a passionate fan base, but there's both sides, so you can't win either way, right? You just got to stay.
Yeah, right, I mean, I try to be as realistic as possible,
but nobody wants to hear any criticism,
And no one even wants to hear we're not even that bad, because people like their narratives. But no, it was an ugly game.
Well, let's talk about the emotions of the game, right? Just our emotions, right? That's what the fans want to know. How does the regular fan feel during these games?
It was a very emotional game.
So we start out. Hawkins long run, emotion.
I was feeling pretty good. I'm like, hey, maybe the offense got its act together finally.
You're thinking, hey, we might have something going on here, right? And then the Auburn offense makes our defense look mediocre throughout most of at least second and third quarter for sure. Feelings then, emotions then.
I was like, good Lord, we're collapsing. Oni Kuno, shout out, he's a OU YouTuber, predicted this very thing. Defense can only carry you so far, and eventually that dam is going to break.
Well,
and it looked like the dam was starting to break.
Yeah, I think that the defense, when one side of the ball is playing so good, the other side and the other side's playing bad, the side that's playing good is kind of like, what?
It's demoralizing.
What else can we do? I mean, I'm getting tired of doing this. I'm beating my head against the wall. It's kind of like OU offense back in the day when we didn't have a defense. Like
the Lincoln Riley days.
Yeah, the Mahomes versus Baker game where both of them had 700 yards of offense each.
Yeah.
And so they were just going back and forth. You're like, oh my gosh, can Can Baker do it again? Yep, he can do it again. Can Baker do it again? Yep, he can do it again. So the defense, though, gets demoralized there when they're just, nothing's happening. They're holding and holding and holding, and it's tough. Auburn was a good team.
I've been saying it. If that 2017 team had this Brent Venables offense, we would be ruling the world right now.
Yeah.
I'm sad to say.
Now tell me what you were thinking. It started fourth quarter. I think we'd had another bad offensive possession, and you just threw your hands up. You had the tantrum on the couch there, beat the couch a bit, and you walked into your room. What were you thinking there? You couldn't stand it no more?
I was demoralized, to be honest with you. But also I was like, I just need to sit in a room for a minute and get my thoughts together for starters. And and I was like, okay, so how is this Days of Our Sooners gonna go? Because I'm like, all right, because last week I was pretty angry. You remember I was not happy.
Yeah.
And I try not to repeat myself too much, but like, what is there to say? We've been struggling with this all season, so I'm just sitting there, and then I hear you and Mike starting to celebrate. Mike's a friend of ours, by the way, for those who don't know.
Who don't give up on the team? Go ahead.
Stop. I just needed a moment by myself, and then I hear you guys celebrating, and I run back in there, and he threw a dime to Hester,
right?
And we actually got a chance. So I'm like, what is this?
Now, at that point, when we had that, now he got tackled short of the end zone. We're on like the 2-yard line. Were you 100% sure we were going to score a touchdown from the 2-yard line?
Be honest, no. I was not sure.
I wasn't either. Yeah, I'm like, how are we going to mess this up? But the line finally just opened a major
nice
parting of the Red Sea there, and he walked in for the touchdown. So now things can happen, right?
Now we got a game.
Yeah. We're within, what was it?
5
we went
points.
for 2. We were within 5. We went for the 2 to get it within 3. We missed it, so we're down 5.
Like I said, I understand why they did it, but I still didn't really agree with the choice.
And you're thinking, the way the Auburn offense is run up and down the field on us, that it's still not looking good, right? Right.
Yeah.
And I noticed that they have the old RPO at Auburn also, and you're leaving it into the hands of a quarterback to make a decision versus just saying, hand the ball off. And he throws 2 passes incomplete, and their coach is livid now. Right?
Again, I kind of feel bad for Auburn because, my God.
Don't feel bad for Auburn. They won't feel bad for you. And then,
well, we're OU. It's Auburn. Yeah. Unless they have like a great talent like Cam Newton, they're kind of, I don't want to say bad, but they're kind of middle of the league SEC team, which is still a pretty good team, by the way. I'm not dissing on SEC.
Middle to bottom.
I won't diss on SEC. It's it's like a vicious Sopranos world in the SEC. It's like kill or be killed,
It's not like we beat the 85 Bears.
Oh man,
about that, right?
No.
So, or the Brady team that almost went undefeated. So we beat a mediocre SEC team, probably upper echelon in overall football, but
we were celebrating.
Yeah. I can't remember the down when we got the interception, but I know that the play that, and I saw this on one of the coaches shows, the play that the defense ran at that moment is made to fool the quarterback. So Kip Lewis is.
So
is
are you saying they outsmarted themselves?
No, I'm saying that Venables knows that this play can cause an interception if they're going to run a slant here. So Kip Lewis is faking like he's going to do a blitz. So that has the line saying, okay, I'm going to block this guy, I'm going to block that guy. So he doesn't blitz, and now the guard is not blocking anybody. And at the last minute, he backs into the lane where they're going to throw the quick slant where it just comes right there, the quick throw. And he's right in the lane, and the quarterback never sees him. And Venables says that he scored 4 or 5 touchdowns off the exact same call at Clemson, back at OU. So he was almost thinking they might score on the play, if the right thing happens. And sure enough, boom, hits him in the face. Which we could have had other turnovers, but we dropped them.
That was a beautiful Beautiful play by
Yeah.
Kip Lewis.
And so he's running down the sidelines. I'm thinking, he's gone, right? What about that bullet that comes flying up, right? Was that guy fast for Auburn or what?
R. Mason Thomas, or are you talking about someone else?
I'm talking about the Auburn receiver running down. He's 15 yards behind and catches him at the goal line. Luckily, he tackles him into the end zone because, again, I'm not so sure we're going to score even from the 1 yard line, right? This offense that we've had. So what was the emotion like there when that happened?
I was pretty excited.
Jubilation,
I was like, holy crap.
Euphoria?
Yes. I was like, holy crap. We might actually BS our way into winning this thing.
Hugging time?
Yeah, it was hugging time.
Yeah, it was great.
And then we go for a 2-point again.
And what happened?
And we succeeded this time.
And how did that happen?
Hawkins, again, pulled a John Elway for 5 minutes and just... It was another helicopter move.
I don't know how many games this kid's going to win. Throwing his body up like that.
I'm hoping he doesn't get hurt.
I mean, get hurt. How is he not going to get hurt?
You know, it's I mean, I don't know. Kid's a beast.
I think he's got a game or two left, maybe. At this rate, I don't see. But now, so we get the touchdown. There's still, 4 minutes left?
It's 24-21, so we're like...
Yeah, we're up 3.
I'm like, all right, defense, if you can just hold them off for 2 minutes.
But are you confident they can hold them off after what we've seen all day?
Well, after that interception, I'm like, okay, we have some life.
Mm-hmm. The defense has to be inspired now, right?
We got the 2-point conversion. Mm-hmm. Defense might actually do something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What can I say? I was right.
And then we opened up the cage where R. Mason Thomas was living, right?
The lawyer. Mm-hmm. Again, it was like the defense was like, oh yeah, we're actually a pretty good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get that unhinged aggression out on.
He starts dominating.
Yeah, runs over, just sacks him. It was beautiful.
He was blowing up everything, right? Then it gets down to 4th down and 11.
We're like, oh man,
right. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to hit some kind of stupid pass, right? They rush
Full
him
on
out. He kind of steps up. R. Mason runs past him. We got another defender. I think it might have been Trace Ford coming in this way. The quarterback's kind of stepping up, and R. Mason just flattens him. I was like, yeah, we get ready to win this one, bad boy.
Yeah, and then we got the ball. Another pretty underwhelming drive.
Did nothing.
But they got field goal, so I was like,
Schmitty.
He did pretty good. He did good. Apparently, our other guy had appendicitis, so...
Yeah, I was a little nervous about that. Schmitty let all the nerves kind of... You know how I'm always looking at kickers and I go, they're going to make it, they're going to miss it. Half the time I'm right. Even maybe more than half the time. Like, oh yeah, he's confident, he's going through. Schmitty last year was all nervous. He didn't want to miss any. He was putting pressure on himself. The kicking is like golf. It's a head game.
He looks like he's gotten over some of that.
Oh, yeah. He was like, I have nothing to lose. I already lost my job. What else are they going to do?
I mean, can't be worse than the Auburn kicker. Poor guy. What's that dude's name? Towns Magoo?
Towns Magoo.
Which is a bit of an unfortunate name. But also, so get a well, you saw it, but get a load of this. So this guy, they pull out a 5-second, field goal unit. Miss. We're like, okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Then we get a penalty. Because of course we do. Because we're the Oklahoma Sooners. This is basically
12 men on the field.
This is 2020 all over again. Just incompetence all over the football field. Guy goes again. And he misses again. I literally tweeted right after. I'm like, dude, we gave you the golden goose. And you still missed it. It was kind of embarrassing. I would be embarrassed if I was that guy. Though, I will say, at least he wasn't the Tulane kicker. Because Tulane kicker, that was even more embarrassing. Because at least he got it off. Poor guy.
He got it above the crossbar.
I still can't believe he
I
did
wouldn't
it
want to
that
be a
bad.
kicker, would you?
I don't either.
No, I'm glad I never.
Yeah, and there were people on the going back to the group who were like, "Oh, you're one of those fans. Why don't you go out there, be another fan?" I'm like, Are you kidding me? These guys don't even know me. They don't even know how much I go to bat for this team on Twitter. I have survived many Twitter wars with OU fans.
You're only known by your last post.
I know, yeah.
What about that goal line stand we had in the first half, right off the bat?
I was like, okay, we might actually do something. Yeah. And also, take the points. That's why it matters.
Yeah, they're on the 1 yard line. Hugh Freeze was thinking,
Though, again, I understand why they did it, but, they're on the 1 yard line. Why not? I get it. But you never know when a defense is going to run up on you and just mess up all your plans.
Right.
Though, again, another uninspired drive. We don't do anything with it. And, again, I'm like, fire Littrell. I am tired of this. Which...
I hope he's getting his resume ready.
Which I'm still not fond of him. We should probably let him go at least by the end of the year if this keeps up. But yeah, there was something funny I saw on Twitter. There was him and Hawkins had a little cool down hug, and there were people just commenting all over the place. He was probably whispering, "You saved my job, dude."
Yeah, he's like,
"Thanks.
I've got a lot of debt right now. Thanks, Michael." I needed another couple paychecks to get back to even. So.
But yes, I mean, you know what? I've been giving Littrell a hard time. It's probably not easy for him.
No.
Considering that the wide receiver weapons are kind of screwed up at the moment. Burks got hurt, so we're like, all right. Yeah. But he's not been helping himself by his rather uninspired play calling.
That's true. Now, I know you didn't watch this game, but Baker took on big game. So Buccaneers versus the Eagles, and the Eagles were missing their top 2 receivers. Looked like they'd never played before. Baker wipes them out. Okay, you got to have your best players. They're number ones for a reason. Like they're the best players. They're the starters for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean, you have to give Littrell a little bit of grace.
So
there.
was I too hard on Littrell?
No.
Well,
no.
Kind of 50-50.
50-50, but Littrell's had some setbacks, and some obstacles, we'll say. But some of the play calls are just.
I'm kind of tired of the uninspired play calling.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on.
Yeah.
Petaway, well, he got a couple penalties. He didn't really do himself a lot of favors, but I'm okay with Petaway.
Yeah.
He had some good catches last week against Tennessee.
And Hester had a breakout game. He dropped a couple there in the Temple game, I thought, and I was like, this is why you're not getting to play, kid. You're big, you're fast, but you're not getting to play because you're dropping the ball. You got to catch the ball when it hits you in the hands, right? So, anyway, we won the game. Now, that last play of the game, they're at their own 55. He drops back to about they're at their own 45. He drops back to about the 35. I'm like, this kid cannot get it to the end zone. There is no way, and he didn't. He got it to about the 20, I think. So
it's a pretty good pass, though.
Yeah, I was feeling good about it. So I was feeling good that he couldn't get it all over the end zone.
Yeah, we still won.
Yeah,
somehow.
All right,
Sooner Magic.
That's it. Let's talk about some stats real quick. So this is how dominant that Auburn was in the game. Auburn 482 total yards. OU 291. We have not broke 300 yards of total offense all year. I mean, my goodness, where are we at here?
Talk about a rough start.
Oh my goodness, it's
we're 4-1.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to feel good that we're 4-1.
How are we 4-1? I don't understand it. Well, 3 rum-dums and then this game. So, passing, they had 338 yards passing against our vaunted defense. About probably 50 or 60 of it was right there on that last drive when we were playing that prevent defense, not letting them throw anything over our head and doing something stupid. We had 161 yards of passing, 144 yards for them rushing, 130 for us. Pretty close. That running back from Auburn was a pretty good player.
Yeah, that receiver they had, that dude was a pain.
Oh, he was a beast, and he's a freshman.
Oh yeah, he was like
seeing him for a few years.
What was that guy's name from? He's not Bijan, but wasn't it Worthy?
Yeah.
Or was it another guy?
Xavier Worthy.
Worthy was a pain.
Yeah. He's playing for Kansas City right now.
Oh yeah, he is. That's right.
Another thing that sometimes
I think he'll do well over there.
Yeah, he will. Another thing that a lot of times these days, because the people who are running the fast offense don't care too much about, but it really mattered in this game, is time of possession. You ever heard of that?
I know of it.
Yeah.
But I'm
Time
not really
of possession. So Auburn had the ball 35 minutes of the game, 35 and some seconds, and we only had the ball 24 minutes. So they kept sustaining drives, getting first downs. They had 26 first downs to our 11 for the whole game.
I mean, they didn't really do anything that was like sexy.
No,
you know,
they were
like
just
a Lincoln,
slow, down the field, running the clock, and
Luttrell, he's just, either he's calling really uninspired plays, or when he gets a good one, we get a penalty and hold ourselves back,
true.
which was just pitiful.
Offensive interference. I thought it was a horrible call when the tight end Roberts kind of gets in the way. Bowershop catch a 50-yard run down there where they call it back. There was another one where I think Sawcheck finally breaks out, gets it like a 16, 17, 18-yard.
Okay, it went away. Sorry.
16, 17-yard rushing game. I was like, all right, Sawcheck's back. Oh, no. Roberts is holding here. I'm like, oh, what's going on, Roberts? You're going to find yourself on the bench. So anyway,
I think your actual quote was "Get your ass on the bench" if you keep pulling that, or I think maybe something like that.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't that vicious.
Yeah, I hope not. It
wasn't like
it was the heat of the game. So.
But you were like, you didn't yell "Get off the field" like you have a couple of times over the years.
I have been known to say that. So Auburn dominated, and it looked
should have won. To be honest with you,
it looked bad, but at the end of the game, all you got to do, look at the scoreboard. Doesn't matter how many yards you get; matters how many points.
Somehow we did it. Mm-hmm. Sooner Magic.
Yep, Sooner Magic. And just some individuals. So Hawkins, 10 of 15, 161 yards, no turnovers.
That was good.
Go ahead with your comment.
I was going to say, Venables said, I think that was the first time he saw Sooner Magic as a head coach.
Uh-huh.
Though there were some people who were like, well, what about the OU Texas game last year? Well, that was just a good game. Yeah. But, I digress.
It's not always Sooner Magic. It's when there's no way we're going to win this game. Oh, we just won. That's Sooner Magic, right?
Yeah.
Barnes had 18 rushes for 61 yards. Hester, breakout game for him. I hope he's got his confidence. He's a big receiver, can really help us. 3 catches, 86, the one big one there to set
could be a good weapon.
Touchdown.
If he doesn't have butterfingers.
Yeah. And then Bowen had 8 tackles. Spears 6 tackles. What about that sack he had where he shot in there and got that big sack there, when R. Mason was dominating. And then Kip Lewis, 5 tackles, but I mean, reminiscent. You were not born just yet.
That dude's fast for a linebacker.
Same number. So we're playing Texas A&M back in the 2000 season. Mm-hmm. We're about to lose. I think we're down 11 to A&M. At A&M, he intercepts the ball, weaves in, scores the touchdown. Same thing. Number 10, Kip Lewis, intercepts the ball, brings us back from nowhere. So very reminiscent of that play. But enough said about him. 5 tackles, pick 6. Defensive player of the week in the SEC.
I saw that. Yeah, good job, Lewis. So, he really saved the game for us.
Really fun game. A lot of emotion. You like the blow. In the blowouts, we're all like, it's a boring game, And then you get into a game like this, and you're just,
But we won.
And we win.
Sooner Magic.
So this week, bye week.
Thank God.
What does that equal? And you know who we're playing next?
Texas.
Right. What does that mean for 2 weeks?
We're going to have to bottle up the power level, the haterade for 2 weeks.
The haterade of Texas for 2 full weeks. That's going to be awesome.
We're going to be in Florida.
I was going to say, where are we watching the game at?
We're going to be in Florida.
Yeah, we're going
to I'll try and get footage of it.
We're going to watch it around a little tiki hut, hopefully, if they'll play it for us. If not, we'll get it in our room.
For the episode.
Yeah, you looking forward to that game?
Nervous.
Little Ewers is supposed to be back. Hopefully he's a little rusty.
I'm hoping we can bully the Texas offense so it won't be so bad if we lose. We
didn't do bad last year, right?
Well, yeah. Everyone was like, OU. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see what they do. Mm-hmm. And then we came up and just...
They're expecting to dominate.
Their only loss that year, which I was very happy about.
Mm-hmm. Rivalry game, you never know.
I was about to say, gut feeling, we'll lose.
Right.
Now, I don't know how... Now, I'm not going to be like Ryan and be like, we're going to get destroyed by Texas. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be 49-0.
No.
But we might lose. But the part of my brain takes over where I'm like, well, as you say, it is a rivalry game.
Mm-hmm.
Anything could happen.
That's right.
So
Anything could happen.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, let's talk NCAA from last week. Some great games.
Yeah, we had some good ones.
Yeah. So Alabama, Georgia, who were we rooting for?
We were going for Alabama.
Yeah,
again, I was kind of vomiting as I was thinking that, but we were going for Alabama.
Yeah, we never root for Alabama
unless
one of our big records is up for being broken, and that's not. I never even heard of that record before. 47 straight. Heard that my whole life.
That was
45 straight regular season games. Who brought that one up?
That was such a my thing is it was such a cope thing, like because they were mad that they couldn't reach 47 wins. Mm-hmm. So yeah, thanks Alabama.
That was at ESPN. They pulled that one out of the
ether.
Yeah. So I don't know where that one. I never heard that record before. Never in my whole life I've never heard that we had that regular season.
Alabama though, they came out and they were right back to their prime age in what was that, 2014 to 2017, maybe even longer than that. Like back when Alabama was the best team, everyone was afraid of them. Smoked them 28-0. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Game's over. It's boring.
I was like, oh, okay, I guess Georgia ain't all that this year. I guess they're kind of, overcoming the hangover from last couple of years.
I'm starting to want to flip around and change the game, but I'm thinking, golly, this is Georgia. I mean, there's not a better game on than this.
But then I forget Kirby Smart is actually a pretty good coach, and he actually has a good team on his, great team, some might argue, but a very good team, we'll say. They're not quite at their run where they were threatening to take that 47 win streak we're very proud of out here.
Georgia actually takes the lead in that game.
Yeah, they came. I walked in, I was like, what? They came back?
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking Alabama's folded it up. It's over, right? Nope. 2 plays later, big play down the sideline. Milrose to one of their freshmen.
That was an incredible play, by the way.
Yeah, that guy was I think he'd been taking ballet in the offseason or something. Boop. Rolls it around, does another shimmy, and into the end zone. So,
and then I was sweating and laughing nervously because I'm like, we're gonna have to play that in a month. Yay!
I told you. I said, hey, get ready. We're playing them.
Yeah, I know.
What? No.
I'm like, oh god. Anyway, but they end up they pulled it out.
Yeah, our record is still alive.
Throws a pass and just gets another incredible pick by the Alabama guy.
Oh, yeah, in the end zone. No, they drove it back down. I thought it was going to go into overtime. I thought that game was going to go over overtime. He made a great pick over there. So, yeah, Alabama's going to be tough. I don't know. Let's just wait till we get there. We can't get ahead of ourselves in this league, right?
Yeah.
Now, Kentucky, how do you think Ole Miss is feeling about the SEC these days?
I bet they're like, oh yeah, we're finally up there with Alabama and LSU. We're finally a contender.
We're upper echelon, right? In walks Kentucky,
who played Georgia pretty tough last week.
They did. I was wondering if that was a fluke. Not a fluke.
Stoops,
not
man.
A fluke.
Stoops.
Kentucky got a great defense led by Stoops.
Had this ridiculous play I saw where they do a quarterback sneak. Dude gets it, drops it, or actually no, gets busted out of his hand. Some random tight end or somebody gets it and gets into the end zone. College
the
football.
Auburn game. What about when we sack and a big fumble on the sack and it blows forward 10 yards and the quarterback runs forward and recovers his own fumble and gets a first down out of it?
That was ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, that's when we were just losing our mind, right?
That was just okay, you know what? God is just not on our side today.
Right.
He's like,
we're
what?
Cursed.
It's like, you know what? Not today. But
Sometimes
then God,
you got to go through the valley to get to the mountaintop.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and then God was like, all right, here you go. Take the win.
Yeah.
You've suffered enough this game.
Another kind of ho-hum SEC game. A&M 21, Arkansas 17.
Actually pretty good game.
Real good game. And Arkansas beat OSU.
Or no, they did not. They choked it against OSU.
Oh, that's right. They did choke it against OSU.
But they beat another team, though, last week. I forget who it was.
Yeah, I forget who it was, too. But like Granny always says, maybe next year for the Hogs.
Hey, I wouldn't give up on them. They're actually not bad.
They're just kind of like Auburn.
They're unlucky.
Texas blowout of Mississippi State. You missing Levy yet, or?
Well, I will say at least he can run a competent offense, but also at the same time, he had those 5 guys who,
We're missing. That's
so
right.
he probably would have struggled too, and we would have been saying, get Levy out of here as well.
I wonder if Mississippi State wants to send him back yet. I'm not sure.
I don't know if that's gonna. I don't know if
watched
that.
any of their games.
I don't know if
watch
that's.
this game. I couldn't watch.
But I
this
saw
game.
Texas was kind of ho-humming around, and I'm like, maybe there's a chance.
Well, they didn't have viewers in, so we'll see.
Hey, Archie Manning's pretty good.
Yeah, he is pretty good. He's
Or
gonna be
not
great.
Archie.
He's gonna be
Sorry,
great.
I keep thinking of their dad.
Arch Manning.
Arch Manning. I keep thinking of their dad. Sorry.
Probably his real name's probably Archie, but they just call him Arch so they know the difference. So
Yeah.
they have Archie, and both of them come walking.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a big Peyton fan, so it kind of hurts.
Yeah.
Even though I hate Texas.
Peyton, a great actor.
Yeah.
Right.
He's better than Saban.
Yeah,
I'll say
Eli's a
that.
pretty good actor. Much
Yeah.
better than Saban, right? Much better than Dion too.
He's got a. Well, I like Dion. Mm-hmm. Dion's pretty good.
He's no Peyton.
He turned into a pigeon though in one commercial.
Yeah, they've gone over the top on that. Now, how about LSU 42, South Alabama 10?
You expected something?
Basically, bye week.
Is water wet, Dad?
So good schedule for the SEC. All of them big games, other than the Texas Mississippi State game. So Texas is going to have. I mean, they got the easiest SEC schedule you could even ever.
Well, they are
imagine.
facing Georgia.
They've got Georgia and they got us. Everybody else is a cakewalk, basically. So we'll see. Maybe some of these other teams will step up, and it won't be so easy for them. So on to the Big 12, our old conference. Some things never change, right? Like KSU whipping up on OSU 42-20.
Yeah, and OSU Twitter is basically on meltdown right now because they're
they
like,
want Gundy's hide or what?
well, basically we're at the end of an era. Can't believe it's ending like this. And Gundy's been making some pretty questionable decisions the last couple weeks. Can't get his quarterbacks figured out. Offense looked uninspired. And Kansas State, ever a scrappy thorn,
Very scrappy.
just absolutely boat raced them, as you like to say.
They did boat racing. Look it up. Look it up. This is a little bit of a shocker. Utah, beat the brakes off of OSU last week. I thought Utah might just go ahead and run the gauntlet there in the Big 12. Arizona beats them.
That was shocking.
23-10 after K-State demolishes Arizona. I don't know what's going on in the Big 12 and who's going to win.
Any given Saturday, Dad.
That's right, and you can tell in the Big 12 that's what's going to happen. And then Miami, who I thought was becoming a little bit dominant, had him a bit of a scare versus Virginia Tech. What was it, 38-34?
No.
So my question is, Miami all that, or is it just they've been playing some bad teams? We don't know yet. We don't know about that ACC yet. So.
I don't know. There's probably people far smarter than me, like Joe Klatt. Probably knows better than me about this. So
Yeah,
I won't say they're.
That's his job. So.
I won't
a
say.
hobby for us.
I won't say they're pretenders just yet.
Yeah. And then Michigan had a big win over Lincoln Riley-led USC team last week, which we were pretty happy about. And then they go out and nearly get beat by the Minnesota Gophers.
No, Wisconsin.
No, it's Minnesota.
It was Wisconsin.
USC played Wisconsin.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
talking Michigan.
Oh, sorry.
Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan beats USC last week. So I'm
Miscommunication
thinking,
there.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Michigan's kind of maybe they got their act together, but they almost lost to Minnesota, which is not a powerhouse.
The national championship hangover is real.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah. It hurts when you lose your coach and your quarterback and a bunch of other players to the NFL.
That too.
That brings you into.
They're kind of in that like 2020 OU team where we kind of lost a lot of those great players and we were kind of floundering for a little bit, but we'll see if they'll make a comeback. They're still a pretty solid team for the most part.
The Blue Bloods always come back.
Yeah.
That's why I'm surprised Nebraska's not back yet.
Well, they're starting to.
They're getting there. Rule might be the right coach at the right time for them, but they've been down a couple of decades. OU was down a decade, maybe a little bit less than that.
Yeah, it's been kind of pitiful because OU and Nebraska were big rivals back in the day.
Biggest rivals, games of the century.
You have a lot of fond memories of that rivalry.
My goodness, I loved it. Always on Thanksgiving, it was just something you look forward to. So. Notre Dame, not easy win, 31-24 over Louisville. USC did bounce back against Wisconsin.
They were Wisconsin had their number there for a minute.
It looked a little grim for USC early, but USC bounced back and won it. And then Dylan Gabriel, 34-13 over the UCLA Bruins. UCLA.
Mm-hmm. He's a good quarterback.
Dylan Gabriel for Heisman. You there?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's a couple guys ahead of him.
I was about to say, I don't... He would have to be like a... I don't know. Would I say Caleb Williams? I'll say Caleb Williams. Mm-hmm. He have to be like a... He have to scorch some crazy fire to get a Heisman. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that Dylan is a bad quarterback. He did some good work with us. He's a
serviceable quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. He's good. You know, he's kind of like Kirk Cousins, or I
don't think he's in Kirk Cousins.
Well, okay, maybe that's.
He's not in anybody starting quarterback in the NFL league.
Well, okay, he's kind of like Justin Herbert. How's that?
Still way below Justin
Herbert. I give up. He's dependable. Won't embarrass himself, but he won't wow you unless again in the next couple weeks he just scorches everyone, and I will happily say I'm wrong then. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, let's talk about some of these this week's game. Let's start in the SEC since we are in the SEC.
Yeah.
Missouri versus A&M. What are you thinking there? Missouri going to bounce back and put it on A&M, or?
I mean, we'll see, because Mizzou looking kind of sus at the moment.
They're looking sus. Alabama or A&M. I mean, beating Arkansas.
Hey, they're a scrappy team, so I'd say it's a good win. If nothing else.
Coin flip, leaning a little bit towards Missouri, but coin flip-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. Auburn versus Georgia. I mean, is Auburn recovered from that heartbreak where we just grabbed their heart, ripped it out of their chest, and showed it to them as it was beating?
Yeah, no,
you dying soon.
Just straight up Indiana Jones, and he. Maybe I'll put that clip in there for this week.
Yeah. So no. I'm thinking Georgia rolls up on them, right?
I would think so, but we'll see. Georgia's been kind of, but then again, they're a good team.
A little beat up. I think they're going to roll up on Auburn, to be honest with you. Ole Miss for a scrappy little South Carolina team that I had kind of penciled in as a win for OU early in our predictions. But you think Ole Miss is going to be able to bounce back, or are they going to have such a letdown that they let the season fall apart on them?
I would think they should beat them.
You think Ole Miss has got it?
I think they have a good team, but we'll see. If college football, football in general, as our friend Mike likes to say, is a very fickle mistress.
Definitely. Then we've got Alabama versus Vandy.
Bama's gonna just, what's the term? Bend them over and just spank them.
Spank it, yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Blowout alert's what I'm calling right here. Tennessee versus Arkansas. Nothing's getting easier for the Hogs, right?
I could see that being a game if Arkansas plays their cards right, but I say Tennessee has it.
I'm saying Tennessee blowout. Blowout.
I'd say Tennessee will win it. Because Heupel has a good thing going over there.
Yeah, I'm saying Tennessee blowout. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with that. We'll see what happens. We'll talk about it next week. A game that's not really anything, but I did see that SMU Mustangs defeated Florida State. What in the world is going on with Florida State? Are they entering their John Blake era?
I don't know.
You remember, sometimes when we lose, you always ask me, is this the John Blake era coming back? Well, we only lost one game.
Well, I wasn't alive during that era, but I'm hoping I don't have to. I've heard the horror stories from the fans.
So, no, this is what a John Blake era looks like right here.
I don't know if it's just a massive hangover because they had that really good team, but my God, they look like a clown show right now.
Everybody's blaming the coach, but when your whole team leaves, kind of like when we had the first year of Venables, when the whole team leaves and you got to kind of put it back together with patches. You're gonna have to suffer. You can coach all you want. The players aren't good enough.
There's some good teams. There's some good players on that team, and they have potential. But it's probably gonna suffer a little.
I'm gonna assume Louisville's gonna take care of SMU.
You mean? Oh, sorry. you were going to the other game. That you're talking about
and then we got Clemson versus FSU, and what I have on my paper is see above. They're in the John Blake era. I'm figuring Clemson's going to blow them out.
So pain for the FSU fans?
Pain, bad pain. If the hurricane didn't take you out, this Clemson team might. So, just kidding there in Tallahassee. Michigan versus Washington in a new Big Ten rivalry match. So don't know what's going to happen there, but that was kind of the best game
Michigan, I mean, they're a solid team, but they're kind of still figuring themselves out, kind of like where we were in 2022. Yeah. Washington, their coach is at Alabama now.
Right.
So
I have no clue what's going on there.
I don't know what's going to happen.
I haven't seen them on TV. I've seen nothing about Washington. So looks like a pretty good lineup, though, for a bye week. You know, so we'll see what happens.
So, oh yeah, are you gonna be out of town next week?
No. Well, Wednesday. Not, we'll be able to do the show here. Then Wednesday I'll be out of town. You can put it up on.
I was like, so do you want to do a a bye week episode, or you want to take a break?
I guess we can take a break. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's take a break. So.
And we'll be back for OU Texas.
Yeah, it's like the huddle. Wait. Last night I was watching for the huddle where Toby Rowland is talking with Gabe and Caleb Kelly, and I'm like, "Where is this? Why is it on?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we got to buy." So anyway, so we'll make our fans wait, just like the rest of us. So I'll be busy packing that.
Well, I know, but how's OU Texas going to look? Because, we're going to be in Florida. I'll be heading back on the weekend because, I can only miss so many days of school.
Well, yeah,
when are you going to be back?
We're going to be back Wednesday night, so we'll have to do the show Thursday, and you're going to have to do some quick editing to get it ready. Put it out Friday. That's what we're going to have to do because I don't get in until midnight on Wednesday. So.
All right.
So if you guys want to rob the house, we're going to be out of town. Okay?
Don't say that.
So anyway. All right, let's talk NFL. Thursday night game, Cowboys versus Giants. Easy win for the Cowboys, right?
You would think.
What is going on? Not good. We squeaked it out over the hapless Giants, 20-15.
It's clown show.
How much money did they pay Dak? He's not the best quarterback in the league.
I mean, you know what? I'll try and play devil's advocate here because I agree with your point that Dak's he's still a solid quarterback, but he's overrated.
He's making more money than Mahomes. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't think this is all his fault, personally, but he's not helping the situation. It's kind of like the Jackson Arnold situation where he's like paying all this money to this dude and he's not doing anything.
Speaking of Jackson Arnold, how do you think he's feeling with all these accolades? The team's got Hawkins up in the locker room, bouncing him around. Where's Jackson Arnold over there? I didn't see him in the middle of bouncing him up and down.
I don't know.
You feeling bad for the kid?
I do a little bit.
I think that, I don't want to say it, but Hawkins, I think Jackson is going to get to play again this year. If Hawkins keeps diving in the air, getting spun around, that can only happen so many times until all of a sudden you get hurt.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so some pretty good games this week in the NFL. Falcons 26, Saints 24. I know we don't care about those teams, but they're both kind of decent teams this year.
Well, I was gonna say real quick for the Cowboys. I don't know why I love such frustrating teams, but let's move on. Yes, Falcons and the Saints kind of look decent.
There's your Kirk Cousins on the Falcons, and then Derek Carr, I think, is for the Saints. Was quarterbacking the Raiders. Looked like he didn't know how to play football, and now he's pretty darn good.
A competent team can take you miles.
Here's a surprising team, all about the defense. They've got the Bo Nix as their quarterback for the Broncos.
With a former Saints head coach.
With the former Saints head coach. They got zero offense, but they end up beating the Jets, who looked like world beaters the week before, 10-9. So where was Aaron Rodgers in this game?
What a ugly game.
That's
from
what
the
we
sounds
call
of
a tractor pull in the Summers family house, right?
Yes. I don't know where Aaron Rodgers is at.
Well, he was in the game, but 9 points from Aaron Rodgers, that's ridiculous. So, and then the Vikings, 31-29 over the Pack, which the Pack is not so great, but the Vikings are off to a 4-0 start. Go figure.
Could there be hope for the Purple People Eaters?
They haven't sold me yet on this deal, so we'll see how it goes. Colts 27, Steelers 24.
Jeez,
Steelers,
what a debacle of a game there. I mean, my lord, it was like, who wanted to lose? And Joe Flacco, he was at the Browns last year, and everyone was like, "Oh man, Joe Flacco, where have you been?" And then he shows up at the Colts, and just starts slinging it because the guy got hurt. Their other guy just shoots the football every 5 minutes.
Brought him off the retirement heap, and he led him to a victory. First loss for the Steelers, so pretty good win for the Colts there. Bears 29, Rams, is that 29? It was 24, Rams 18, Caleb Kelly, less than 200 yards passing this week.
You mean Caleb Williams?
What did I say?
You said Caleb Kelly.
Kelly, sorry. Caleb Williams.
We're going to get blasted in the comments.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry, Caleb. So less than 200 yards passing, so really more of a defensive win, I think.
Poor Stafford. I would say poor Stafford. But
he's got a Super Bowl ring.
He's got a Super Bowl.
You don't need to say poor Stafford at all. Yeah, he's got him a Super Bowl ring.
He lost that right when he won the Super Bowl.
That's right. When you got a Super Bowl ring, hey, it's over.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't just go, you know what? I retire. I'm going to chill out in California. But no, he did not do that.
He may have a little debt issues. Maybe he's bought him a big boat or a big house. He might need another couple of years to pay all that stuff off. Baker keeps on baking. Buccaneers 33. Big game. Eagles 16.
Gets smoked. And
wasn't even that close, really. I mean, Baker had him down pretty good. And that's what happens when you don't have your top receivers, right? We just said that. So big game, looking a little lackluster. So happy for Baker, my favorite player in the NFL.
I mean, I don't really blame big game because again, those two wide receivers are out. You can only do so much.
Defense gave up 33 points to Baker. So
yeah, that's true.
What are you going to do?
Eagles are kind of. I don't want to say they're in free fall again, but they're kind of.
They're terrible.
Exactly.
There's no in between mediocre 10-6. They're either
13-3 or they can lament down there that man, we got rid of Andy Reid because he couldn't do it, and then he goes to Kansas City, wins 2 in a row now, which is ridiculous.
That's what happens when you got Mahomes and a bunch of good receivers.
That's true.
And a decent defense. So.
Get like a Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, you will take over the universe. I mean, not to discount Reid. He's a great coach. I mean, he was great when he was with Philly back in the day.
Yep. And then the Chiefs with Andy Reid, they got a little win over the Chargers, and they just keep on rolling, right? Don't have to win big.
Some more sloppy wins, but they've done it before. They've started out sloppy, and then they're contenders again.
Yeah, and then the Bills do what the Bills have done in the past. You think they're world beaters. Last week, oh my gosh, they crushed last week.
And then the Ravens remembered, oh yes, we're actually a good football team.
Yeah, and they come up and blow out the Bills 35-10. So
poor Bills fans.
And then last night, very interesting game. The Lions 42, Seahawks 29. Man, that's the kind of game I like to watch. Back up and down the field, both offenses really putting on a show. So it was a fun game to watch last night.
Well, I mean, it was better than the Titans-Dolphins game.
Yeah.
That was just depressing to watch.
I had that on the side TV. Right? Sound down. I'm not even listening to that.
That was just depressing.
Yeah. So this week, Thursday night game, Bucks versus the Falcons. So go Baker, go Bucks is what I say. What do you think? We got that one?
Go Baker.
Okay.
But hey, the Falcons, they're pretty tough
Falcons
sometimes.
Pretty tough this year. I'm not counting that as a win for sure. We better show up.
Buccaneers.
Yep. Vikings versus the Jets. The only reason I put this one on the list is they're playing it in London. What do you feel about NFL teams playing in London, playing in Mexico, playing in Brazil? What's the use?
I feel like it's Goodell just being like, yeah. He's trying to get that. Those old cartoons with Scrooge McDuck, and there's the coins, and he dives in and swims in it. That's what Goodell's doing. He's trying to get as much money as possible.
I guess it's
even though he's going to countries who scoff at our level of football. You can't believe how much harassment I get from my European friends about the gay Mickey Mouse football that we play over here. They hate it over there.
Don't even get me started on soccer. So.
Oh, yeah, no. We don't like soccer in this family.
Bears versus Panthers. I would say Bears are going to win that, but Panthers won one that I didn't suspect last week. So flip of the coin on that one. Colts, Jags. What happened to the Jags? The Jaguars.
Yeah, Cato's not looking too good right now.
Cato Kalen.
Well, also known as Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
The resemblance is anyway.
Resemble?
they're resembling.
Uh-huh.
They resemble each other.
You know they named the stadium after him already over there in...
Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Why?
I
mean, he was great in college, but, I mean... I'm not saying he's a bust yet. He's a solid QB. He's just kind of... I don't know.
I think he needs to move on, but... yeah, guy that works with me. He's a big. He lives in Jacksonville, and
poor guy.
I was asking him about the game. He said, lost again," and he's the one that told me that they named the stadium after me. So you get the big contract, they name the stadium after you, and then you go 0-4.
Wait a minute. So the Jaguars named the stadium after Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, they did. Per my guy that lives in Jacksonville. If it's wrong, the guy's lying to me. Marvette, don't lie to me. Got you out. We're out in the Ethernet.
Oh man, if I didn't think the Jags were already a clown show after the Urban Meyer debacle.
Mm-hmm. Here's a good AFC Central game: Ravens versus the Bengals. I think the Ravens are starting to find themselves. Burrow's got the frosted hair.
Bengals are bungling again.
Need to shave all that off.
Bengals are bungling again.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens in that one. Cards versus the Niners. I'm going to say go Kyler, but I'm not feeling too good about it. I think the Niners maybe, kind of.
Hey, they are wrecked by injury, though.
Yeah, they're missing McCaffrey for sure. That other running back looked like he was solid that first week, but he hadn't done too good. I keep putting him in my fantasy football league. That's probably the problem. If I don't play him this week, he'll probably score 3 touchdowns, 200 yards, and everybody else will have him. And then an old rivalry, the Cowboys versus the Steelers on Sunday night.
Ooh, that's an old school Super Bowl rivalry.
Super Bowl's been played with that matchup, 2 of them at least that I can think of.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Long before my time. I think it was just in your time.
70s when Bradshaw was the quarterback. Steelers were my team back then. Lynn Swann, Franco Harris, Joe Green.
So the prime Steelers.
Prime Steelers. Mel Blount, Jack Lambert, meanest linebacker you've ever seen. Didn't have any teeth in the front. He made the quote, "Quarterbacks should wear skirts," because the referees were always protecting them so much.
Also, speaking of ballerinas, like Lynn Swann, I've seen a couple of his catches. That dude was
what a player.
That dude was a great jump ball. He was like the Mike Evans of that period.
Great player.
I mean, going back to the Bucks. I mean, Baker and Mike Evans. I mean, my God, that should be a beautiful pairing.
Yeah.
Isn't Sterling? I heard some talks that Sterling is still around.
He's playing for the Bucks, and he had a few catches from Bake, so not bad. So I'm leaning Steelers there. I don't know. What are you thinking? Your Cowboys can make it happen, or
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, Steelers weren't looking that great either last week, but I think the Steelers are the Steelers have a better foundation than the Cowboys do, because ever since Jerry's been, good Lord, it's Jerry. It's more unstable.
It's true.
Last couple of years, we've had a pretty good team, but jeez,
can't get over the hump. And then on Monday night, Chiefs versus Saints. It would be an obvious Chiefs win here, but the Saints are pretty good.
They're scrappy.
I believe it is in New Orleans, and I say that anything can happen in this game.
Yeah,
I think the Saints could pull it
off. Chiefs are been sloppy, but
they're trying to lose, but they keep winning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of like
some say the referees are wearing red and white stripes. So,
kind of like our team is also red and white and is trying desperately to lose, but somehow we win.
Yeah.
Somehow.
So super fun week, right?
Oh yeah, should be.
Yeah. Super fun week last week, right?
Oh, yes. Though, yeah. So I guess we're taking a break this week because, well, we will be in Florida, so you'll see some footage, hopefully.
Wait till you see that beautiful tan I'm going to have. I'm going to be like 20 years younger.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
You going to get you a tan?
Well, maybe a little.
Yeah.
But
Gotta get that cream cheese look off of you, right?
Hopefully we'll beat Texas. So beat Texas.
Yeah,
They suck.
Beat Texas.
Let's punch them in the mouth while they're on top of the world right now. They did go to number 2, so they're no longer number 1
They fell
team.
back to number 2.
Yeah,
Who went to number 1? Alabama jumped them. Okay, all right.
So
it doesn't matter right now. They can jump around if they'd like.
You
know this old chant when we're going through the stadium there at the Cotton Bowl? Texas
sucks.
Exactly.
It's the chant. Pat McAfee did that a few weeks ago.
That was hilarious, right?
Yeah, no, but anyway, I think that's it.
All right.
So yeah, we're going on a break. Sooner Magic, baby.
Here we go.
So yes, this has been yet another dramatic week of Days of Our Sooners. Until next time, OU Texas, baby.
We'll see you when we get back from Florida.
Probably be on Friday, from the sounds of it.